stop what you are doing right now. I mean it, because what I'm about to share with you in the next few minutes could be one of the most important things you hear all year. And if you are retired or getting close to retirement, this information directly affects your money, your benefits, and your financial security. We have just gotten word of a combination of tax policy changes, benefit rule updates, and government program shifts that are quietly draining thousands of dollars from the pockets of retirees in 3 specific states across America. Now, I know that sounds alarming, and honestly, it should, because we are not talking about small change here. We are talking about $5,000, $6,000, sometimes even $8,000 per year that is slipping away from retired households. Money that could be going toward your medical bills, your groceries, your utility costs, or simply the quality of life you worked 40, 45, maybe 50 years to earn. And here is the part that is going to really get your attention. Some of what is happening is the result of recent changes, updates to tax rules, adjustments to benefit thresholds, and shifts in government programs that took effect in the past couple of years. And the information simply hasn't reached the people who need it most. The financial advisors haven't all caught up. The local tax offices aren't sending you a letter. The first way is state taxation on Social Security benefits. Even though Social Security is federal income, a number of states still pile their own tax on top of what the federal government already takes. And the rules around exactly who gets taxed, how much, and at what income level have been changing. Some seniors who were protected from this tax in prior years no longer qualify for that protection because income thresholds haven't kept up with inflation. Other seniors who qualify for an exemption simply don't know to claim it. The second way is taxation on pension income and retirement account withdrawals, specifically traditional IRA and 401k distributions. In certain states, every dollar you pull out of those accounts gets treated as regular taxable income at the state level, and the rates can be surprisingly steep for people who assumed their retirement state would be more forgiving. The third way, and this one is the sleeper that most people never see coming, is the collapse of senior-specific benefit programs that were designed to give you money back on property taxes, prescription costs, and utility bills, but that are now being quietly eroded by outdated income thresholds, bureaucratic application requirements, and policy phase-outs that nobody bothered to publicize. If even one of these 3 forces is working against you and you don't know about it, you could be losing thousands. If 2 or 3 of them are hitting you at once, you could be looking at a very serious and very unnecessary drain on your retirement savings. This is not about politics, and it's not about which party runs which state. This is about your money. It's about the rules that exist right now, today, and what they mean for your household. And the 3 states I'm about to name are going to surprise at least some of you, because one of them has a reputation for being completely tax-friendly to retirees. The first state is Colorado. Now, Colorado has been making significant changes to how it treats retirement income over the past few years, and some of those changes are genuinely positive. But there's a catch, and the catch is costing a lot of seniors real money. Colorado recently updated its rules on the deduction for Social Security and pension income for retirees over 65. On paper, this sounds great. The state increased the amount of Social Security income that can be deducted from state taxable income, which should mean lower taxes for many seniors. But here's the problem. The deduction is not automatic. You have to know about it, claim it correctly on your state return, and meet the specific requirements. A significant number of Colorado retirees, particularly those who file their own taxes without professional help, are not claiming this deduction at all, or are claiming it incorrectly, and they are paying hundreds of dollars more in state income tax than they actually owe. Take a real-world example. A 68-year-old retired teacher in Denver with $28,000 in Social Security income and $22,000 in pension income. Under Colorado's updated rules, she may be able to deduct a substantial portion of both from her state taxable income. But if she doesn't know which form to complete, the DR 0104AD, which is Colorado's subtractions from income schedule, or if she fills it out incorrectly, she loses that deduction entirely. That could mean overpaying Colorado state income tax by $800, $1,000, or more in a single year. And Colorado's state income tax rate, while flat, currently sits at 4.4%, meaning every dollar of income you fail to properly shield from taxation costs you 4.4 cents on the dollar, and those cents add up very fast. The Social Security deduction is just the beginning of Colorado's problem for retirees. The state also has a property tax relief program called the Property Tax Rent Heat Rebate, the PTC rebate. This is money Colorado literally sends back to qualifying low to moderate income seniors to help offset property taxes, rent, and heating costs. The maximum rebate can be over $1,000 per year. But the income limits for this program are strict, and the application has to be filed each year between January and April 15th. Seniors who miss that deadline lose the entire rebate for that year. And many do miss it, not because they don't qualify, but because they didn't know the deadline existed. If you are a Colorado resident aged 65 or older and your income is below approximately $20,000 for a single person or around $27,000 for a married couple, you need to look up the PTC rebate form. It's Form DR0104PTC, and file it before the April deadline. This is free money from the state of Colorado, and it goes unclaimed by thousands of eligible seniors every single year. There's also something happening in Colorado related to the Senior Housing Income Tax Credit, which was introduced more recently and is meant to provide additional relief for older residents dealing with high housing costs. This credit has its own income thresholds and phase-outs, and the rules around it changed in a recent state budget cycle in ways that many seniors haven't been briefed on. The credit begins to phase out at relatively modest income levels, and seniors who are just above the threshold often don't realize they still qualify for a partial credit rather than nothing at all. Now, before I get to states 2 and 3, and I promise you state number 3 is going to genuinely shock you, I want to take a quick moment to say something directly to you. If this information has been helpful, if you're learning something today that you didn't know before, please take 5 seconds right now and hit that like button on this video. It costs you nothing, and it helps us get this information in front of more seniors who need it. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, please subscribe right now and hit the bell so you get notified every time we post. We cover Social Security updates, IRS rule changes, Medicare adjustments, banking alerts, and retirement planning tips on a regular basis, all in plain English, all designed specifically for people in or near retirement. We have helped tens of thousands of people protect their retirement income, and we want to help you too. Now let's get back to the states, because state number 2 is one that is quietly punishing a very specific group of retirees in a way that is both infuriating and entirely preventable. The second state is Montana, and I know when most people think about retirement-unfriendly states, Montana doesn't immediately come to mind. In fact, Montana often gets praised for its wide-open spaces, low cost of living in certain areas, and outdoor lifestyle that many retirees love. But Montana has a serious problem when it comes to taxing retirement income, and it's one that has been getting worse as the cost of living rises. Montana is one of the states that still taxes Social Security benefits at the state level. The state does offer a partial exemption, but that exemption has income phase-out limits, and those limits have not been adjusted to keep pace with inflation or with the annual cost of living increases that Social Security recipients receive each year. Here's why that matters in a very practical way. Every year, the federal government gives Social Security recipients a cost of living adjustment, a COLA increase. In 2023, that COLA was 8.7%. In 2024, it was 3.2%. These increases are meant to help seniors keep up with inflation. But in Montana, a higher Social Security payment means higher income on paper, which can push a retiree over the threshold for the state's Social Security tax exemption. So the federal government gives you a raise to help you survive inflation, and Montana's tax code takes a cut of that raise. That is not a hypothetical. It is happening right now to real retired Montanans who find themselves paying state income tax on their Social Security for the first time simply because their COLA bumped them above the exemption limit. Montana's income tax rates go up to 6.75% for higher earners, and even at middle income levels, the rates are substantial. A retired couple in Billings with combined Social Security of $36,000, a small IRA distribution of $18,000, and a part-time job bringing in $8,000 could find themselves well into Montana's taxable range for Social Security with little to no exemption remaining. The tax hit on that Social Security income alone could easily exceed $1,500 to $2,000 per year. And that's before you account for the taxation of the IRA withdrawal, which is also taxed as ordinary income at the state level with limited relief available. Montana also has a property tax system that can be particularly hard on fixed-income retirees. The state does have a Property Tax Assistance Program, PTAP, as well as an elderly homeowner and renter credit for qualified seniors. The elderly homeowner credit can be worth several $100s, but it is claimed on the Montana state income tax return and requires documentation that many seniors find confusing to gather. The asset limits for the assistance program are also quite restrictive, meaning that a retiree who owns their home outright, which most long-term Montana residents do, may find their home value alone disqualifies them from certain assistance even if their income is very modest. This is a structural flaw in the program that has been discussed in the Montana legislature for years, but as of the most recent legislative session, it has not been fully corrected. The result is that seniors who genuinely struggle with fixed incomes are falling through the cracks of a program that was designed to help them. If you live in Montana and you're over 62, the most important thing you can do right now is pull up your most recent Montana state tax return and look carefully at whether you claim the elderly homeowner and renter credit, that's Form 2EC, and whether you applied for the Property Tax Assistance Program through your county treasurer's office. These are two separate benefits that require two separate applications, and the deadlines fall at different times of the year. Missing either one is money out of your pocket. If you have new on this channel, please subscribe for our support. Tell me where you're watching this video from.